Hello and welcome to the channel. In this video we are back in late 2003 taking a look at one of the very first and most stable platforms released for AMD's groundbreaking 64-bit Athlon 64 processor for socket 754 and helped cement MSI as a top tier choice for PC enthusiasts. Using the reliable VIA K8T 800 North Bridge and VT8237 South Bridge while avoiding complex cooling and continuing to run cool. Features up to 4 serial ATA ports and extra IDE channels via an onboard Promise controller. Packed with high-end extras for the time, including gigabit LAN, Firewire and 6-channel audio, and included MSI's core cell chip, a legacy hardware monitoring and control chip used on vintage MSI motherboards in the mid-2000s to manage system temperatures, voltages and auto overclocking, and dynamic overclocking technology for automated performance tuning. The MSI K8T Neo was a significant motherboard of its time, released in September 2003 alongside initial reviews and marketing, with availability appearing around November 2003. To pair with this desk bench beamed in from the future is this ATI Radeon X1300 Pro, launched on October 1st, 2005, built on the 90nm process and based on the RV515 graphics processor. It featured 4 pixel shaders and 2 vertex shaders, 4 texture mapping units and 4 ROPs. Paired with 256MB of DDR memory, utilising a 128-bit memory bus interface. The GPU operates at 600MHz clock frequency and the memory is clocked at 400MHz and has a power draw rated at 31 watts maximum. Sempronix, that I honestly have never heard of, is providing the memory to this desk build with this 1GB PC3200 DDR 400 memory module. To keep in the 2000s theme, we have got powering this desk rig a Thermaltake TR2 430W power supply. Now that we've got all the components we need installed, we can fire up this desk rig and run a little Dosbench. Excellent, we've got a post screen, Sempron 3100 Plus and 1GB of RAM detected. Lovely. PC player in 640x480 scores 0 because it doesn't appear to like ATI GPUs, so moving on to a Doom benchmark that I am pleased to say does work. Doom in high detail for faster PCs timed 2134 gametics in 637 realtics. To calculate Doom's FPS, divide the number of gametics by the realtics and multiply by 35. That gives us a result of 117.25 frames per second. Quake in 640x480 doesn't appear to work either for some reason. It does however work in a lower resolution. So for option C for Quake, that I believe is 320x200, scores 237 frames per second. I'll repeat that now and see if it works in 360x480. Well, that clearly worked, so Quake in 360x480 scores 101.7 frames per second. And as always, finishing off with speed test, we have a processor benchmark score of 2575.62. Testing memory time results are as follows. The 64KB data cache level 1 transfers 15,725.66 megabytes per second. The 128KB data cache level 2 transfers 6,152.63 megabytes per second, and the memory throughput is 1,518.75 megabytes per second. All results scoring into the thousands, that is always good to see, and indicating a successful test. The Western Digital Raptor WD740AD-FD is a legendary 74GB, 10,000 RPM, 3.5-inch SATA mechanical hard drive, released in early 2006. Before the mainstream adoption of solid-state drives, the Raptor series was the absolute pinnacle of high-performance storage for PC enthusiasts, gamers, and entry-level enterprise servers. And so we'll be using this legendary spinning rust to install good old nostalgic Windows XP. Standard desktop drives usually spin at 5,400 or 7,200 RPM, but the Raptor's 10,000 RPM platter speed significantly reduced seek time down to a 4.6 ms, resulting in drastically reduced Windows boot times and snappy application loading. The AD-FD upgrade doubled the cache from 8MB to 16MB and added native command queuing or NCQ, greatly improving multitasking performance. We're going to need a CD drive to install Windows, so I picked up this LG M disk burner out of my pile of drives, and perfect for the job. So I've got all the drives connected and powered, and we're ready to power up the system and install Windows XP. Once the system posted, it started to load Windows 8 that was already installed on the Western Digital Raptor. As you can see, Windows 8 boots fine. I could just install drivers and we'll be away. But I've got another one of these Western Digital Raptors, so I'm going to swap them over and install Windows XP onto this drive. This drive was also attempting to boot Windows, only it appeared to be stuck on the splash screen, so I formatted the drive and installed Windows XP. For the next couple of minutes I installed motherboard drivers for the sound and network controller and the drivers for the ATI Radeon X1300 Pro. After a reboot, we have the video drivers installed and everything in display properties looks good, so we can install some benchmarking software, and I've chosen 3D Mark 2003 and Aquamark as the benchmarking software for the next series of tests on this machine. The AMD Sempron 3100 Plus, combined with an ATI Radeon X1300 Pro AGP, represents a classic mid-2000s budget PC configuration that should effortlessly handle classic games like Half-Life 2, Doom 3, Far Cry and GTA San Andreas at 1024x768 resolution on medium settings, so I'm hoping that we get a reasonably decent score on these benchmarks. As you can see, I have the desk rig rigged up to my capture PC. In the top left is the capture stream, so you can see what the machine is doing before starting an Aquamark benchmark. I'm just going to take some temp readings whilst the system is not under load, and I'll do some further readings once the benchmark starts and the system is put under load. On the GPU core, we've got 47.1 degrees Celsius as the hottest reading. The memory chips, the hottest is the first one at 35.6 degrees Celsius, and the others are in the 30s, 32.2 being the hottest. 25.9 degrees Celsius is the hottest reading on the processor, and on the motherboard's north bridge, 29 degrees Celsius is the hottest reading, and 28.8 degrees Celsius on the memory. Let's start the benchmark then and see how it gets on. Benchmark is now started, and let's get a reading of the GPU core first. Oh wow, it's cooler than when it was idle, with the hottest reading of 34.4 degrees Celsius, more than 12 degrees cooler. The memory is definitely working a lot harder, 43.9 degrees Celsius, and the others that are closest to the fan are in the high 30s. 25.9 degrees Celsius on the processor, exactly the same as before. 27.5 degrees Celsius on the memory, so he's just over 1 degree cooler. All running nicely here, temps are looking good, benchmark seems to be running well. We're not getting any artifacting, which is excellent, and brings us nicely to the end of this video. I hope you've all enjoyed watching, and I will catch you in the next one.